Happy meteorological summer, everyone. As we start heading into the summer months, temperatures will be heating up. We'll take a look at that forecast later on. But for now, let's take a look back at the month of May. May started off with high pressure over the central Rockies. Around May 6th, we saw a cold front sweep through right in here. That resulted in temperatures falling off a bit, and it brought in some precipitation. High pressure then rebuilt across the central Rockies early on in the second and third weeks of the month. And then we saw the wheels fall off the bus in a sense, with a strong cold front sweeping through around May 17th. This front brought heavy snow to the Colorado Rockies, with over 2 feet of snow reported in a few spots. Cold rains were reported in the valleys. Zooming in a little bit closer, we could see just how fast those temperatures dropped off. We saw temperatures in the lower 80s in Grand Junction around May 13th, but by May 18th we saw high temperatures barely reaching 50 degrees. Later on, we saw that ridge of high pressure move back in towards the end of the month, and then a brief dip towards the end of the month around May 28th, but not a whole lot of precipitation with that system. Let's take a look at the individual climate sites across the forecast area. In Colorado, the hottest temperature in Aspen through the month of May was 74 degrees, and you can see that occurred on May 6th. The coldest temperature was 27 degrees, and that occurred on May 17th and again on May 18th. Aspen picked up about 1.6 inches of precipitation for the month, which is just slightly above normal. But year to date, still suffering below normal there, 6.2 inches, and normal is around 6.94. Let's move on up to Cortez. Hottest temperature in Cortez for the month of May was 84 degrees, and that was on May 24th. And the coldest, chilly 26 on May 19th. Peak wind gusts in Cortez of 57 miles an hour on May 6th. And Cortez picked up just under 9/10 of an inch of precipitation in one storm, a 24-hour report of 0.91 inches. And that was on May 10th. And the precipitation for the month ended up at 1.56 inches, which was a little more than half an inch above normal. Again, you can see the monthly precipitation for Cortez is still running above normal down in the Four Corners area. Back up to Craig, Colorado. Hottest temperature in Craig was 81 degrees on May 31st, and the coldest was 26 degrees on May 4th. Craig picked up about 1.5 inches of precipitation, which was pretty close to normal, about 1/10 of an inch. Below normal up in Craig. Year to date, we're still showing a surplus of precipitation in the Craig area with 7.8 inches roughly, and normal 6.2. Out to Durango. Hottest temperature in Durango, Colorado was 80 degrees on May 5th, the coldest 25 degrees on May 20th. Durango picked up about 9/10 of an inch of precipitation, or about 1/10 of an inch above normal, and they're still showing a slight bump in the yearly precipitation by about 2/100 of an inch, running above normal down there. Sliding back up to Grand Junction, the hottest temperature was 88 degrees on May 24th, and the coldest was 35 degrees on May 20th, so no freezing temperatures in Grand Junction in the month of May. Peak wind gusts of 54 miles an hour on May 6th, associated with dry thunderstorms moving through. Precipitation for the month was about 0.66 inches. Normal is around 0.88, and we are still below normal for the month, sitting at 1 inch below normal for the year to date. Moving on back to the north up to Meeker, Colorado. The warmest temperature in Meeker was 80 degrees. It occurred 3 separate times throughout the month. The coldest, 27 degrees on May 20th. Meeker picked up 1.55 inches of precipitation, which is about 1/10 of an inch above normal for the month. And year to date, we're about 1/10 of an inch above normal as well for the year in the Meeker area. Now over to Montrose. Highest temperature, 84 degrees on May 24th, and the coldest was 32 degrees on May 17th and May 18th. Precipitation for the month in Montrose was just about an inch. Normal is around 1.10 inches. Year to date, Almost an inch below normal down in the Montrose area, so similar to Grand Junction. Over in Rifle, the hottest temperature was 85 degrees. That occurred on May 5th and again on May 31st. The coldest was 30 degrees on May 20th. Peak wind gust, 72 miles an hour. That occurred on May 24th, and again that was associated with thunderstorms moving through. Precipitation for the month in Rifle, 0.58 inches, which was almost an inch below normal for that area. Monthly precipitation, or annual precipitation to date, 2.23 inches in the Rifle area. A little over 3 inches below normal, so we need to get some rainfall into the Rifle Valley. Eastern Utah, over at Canyonlands Airport, which is just north of Moab. Hottest temperature for the month of May was 92 degrees on May 24th. The coldest was 33 degrees on May 18th. Peak wind gusts in Canyonlands was 54 miles an hour on May 6th. Canyonlands picked up 0.45 inches of precipitation. Normal is around 0.6 of an inch. Monthly or yearly precipitation to date, 1.3 inches. Almost 2 inches below normal in the Canyonlands area. Northeast Utah up in Vernal. Hottest temperature in Vernal, Utah was 88 degrees on May 31st. Coldest 32 degrees on May 20th. They did have a peak wind gust about 56 miles an hour on May 26th. Precipitation for the month in Vernal, 0.21 inches. Normal is almost 0.9 of an inch. Yearly precipitation still stands at 4.68 inches, which is a little over an inch above normal. So doing pretty good up there in the Vernal area still. Or let's look back at the meteorological spring temperatures across the region when the warmest and coldest of temperatures occurred. The warmest temperature for the spring in Grand Junction was 88 degrees on May 24th. And jumping around, looks like the warmest temperature in Canyonlands, 92. That again was on May 24th. So you can see that ridge of high pressure moved in at the end of the month and temperatures really started warming up. Coldest temperatures, there's a 2 degrees below zero this spring at Aspen, Colorado, 7 degrees below zero at Craig. Coldest temperature this spring in Grand Junction was 16, and then down in Durango, the coldest temperature for the spring was 4 degrees, and that was on March 1st. For that one real quick. You can see Craig picked up a little over 4 inches of precipitation throughout that period. Montrose almost 2 inches. And the dry spots, Rifle with their 1.07 inches and Grand Junction with 1.28, and in eastern Utah, Canyonlands coming in with 0.65 inches. So not a lot of precipitation for the spring months. We need to start working on that, hopefully through this summer. So taking a look through the month of June, odds are favoring what we consider equal chances of above normal or below normal temperatures across all of eastern Utah and all of western Colorado. And precipitation-wise, we're looking at equal chances as well for the month of June. So that typically means June's one of our drier months of the year, if not the driest in most areas. So I would expect a dry June with scattered storms moving through, especially towards the end of the month, starting to see that increase in thunderstorm activity. And then temperature-wise, basically 90s in the valleys, lower 100s in the southeast Utah valleys, and lower 100s means 100 to 105 roughly. So, and then 70s and possibly 80s up in the mountains. Through the entire summer, we're seeing a signal that we could have temperatures leaning towards above normal this summer. Not a strong signal at this point, but kind of leaning that direction. And odds are favoring above normal precipitation chances up into the mountain areas, maybe signaling an active monsoon season later on this summer. We'll see what that brings us. So that concludes the climate summary for the month of May and a brief outlook for this summer. We'll see you again in early July and hope you have a great meteorological summer this year. Thank you.